Put these windows up. Turn this AC on. Might get kind of nippy in here. Alright, so I don't usually do the YouTube thing. I'm usually on Facebook, but for those who don't know, it's brother David 3X, and just wanted to talk about this whole gay stuff, man. Off the top, I don't have anything against gay people. As far as, I don't hate gay people. But we need to talk about the gays, and we need to talk about white supremacy and how they really work hand in hand. But where should I start? With this whole gay stuff? I've been watching and listening to some people speaking on the subject, and especially people like in the music industry. There's some athletes and actors and things of that nature. They all get wrapped up in this whole gay lifestyle. And I really want to start there because they're the ones who kind of promote it and who we pay attention to. And, they are the avenue by which this gay and lesbian stuff has been legitimized. Alright? So, what can I say, man? It's not a natural thing, I watched the brother arguing about it, and he was saying that and let me say this: I'm coming from the black perspective. I'm not really coming from the whole global everybody inclusive. So I'm coming from the black perspective because I'm more bothered about black gay people than I am about white gay people. Okay. Reason being is it's more of their nature. It really has been more of the nature of Caucasians to practice homosexuality, and lesbianism than it has been for the black man and woman. This is like a new development, and it seems as though in order to be accepted in society, in their society, we have adopted their ways of homosexuality. Alright? Oh man, I got so much to say on this subject. And it's like, I just really don't know. Woo! And it bothers me to see these especially rappers, man, these so-called gangster rappers, these thugs, claiming that they so gangster and so hood, and then being exposed as a homosexual. A lot of times they try to say bisexual, whatever terms they want to use, but you cannot willfully engage in these acts and then think you're going to come out clean, saying that, well, this was just one time, or I was drunk, or I was high. Well, those are conditions out here that can sometimes be out of your control. But ultimately, if you willfully engage in acts, we're not going to get into rape. Someone is raped, their will has been taken away, and that's not fair. It's still embarrassing, because if a man gets raped, by like another man, it's the last thing he want to do is come out to the public and say, oh, this and that was done to me, but the fact is it was done, but it's not willful. You didn't partake in something willfully to say, hey, this is what I'm about. You were violated in that sense, I heard someone say that being gay is stems from one being abused, and I like to say that I agree with that to an extent, but it has been proven that, or I've actually, from my own teachings, we're taught that like babies aren't gay, so you're not naturally gay. But in today's society, it has been proven that there are things that can be done to a pregnant woman or parents that attribute to the formation of a baby or a child becoming gay. See, before it was, you was touched by your uncle or whatever, your grandfather, or somebody touched you, and you grew up in a way. Hold up, gotta hit the brakes. Yeah. So someone touched you, and you got these tendencies in which change your whole characteristic, and that could very well be the case. But let's be real. More than real, I need y'all to understand that, because a lot of people don't understand, and there's a lot of things that can be done to people, especially children, before they even develop in the womb. The things that we eat contribute to the way that we are formed and how we function. I'm gonna fast forward into it, you know what I'm saying? Because this is not a documentary, so I'm not gonna sit here and give you all the answers, but I'm gonna definitely put it out there. And for those who think that, hey, this brother don't know what he's talking about, blah, 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 he just hating, I challenge you to research the subjects I'm gonna and see what you find for yourself. There was something called the gay bomb. You can research that. When you research the gay bomb, what I believe that you're going to find is something that the government was working on, a chemical. The gay bomb was like a chemical bomb that they were trying to use to change the sexual orientation of soldiers so that you wouldn't want to fight. You know what I'm saying? This goes back before they probably even allowed women in the military, where they were trying to get the males to be feminized so you wouldn't be able to fight the enemy, or that the enemy wouldn't want to fight you because they'd be too busy trying to get up in your booty. You know what I'm saying? Now, some people think that's far-fetched, but it's not. There's also a drug, and there was an article, I think it was in Time magazine or some other magazine, in which they were trying to push a certain drug on the inmates. They were going to put it in the inmates' food. Why? The drug was supposed to be used to change. They didn't straight up say that, we're going to make them gay so that they're less violent. They said that this drug that they were going to use was supposed to make inmates less violent, but the drug that they were going to use had been found to change like hormones in males, and for those who think I'm still talking crazy, I'm pretty sure you've seen the commercials for, I think it was Ritalin, whatever you call it, and it tells you in the commercial or in the fine print of these drugs, it tells you if you're a male who starts developing boobs, stop taking Ritalin. And if I got the wrong drug, well, forgive me, you can bash me for that, but let's be real. You know what I'm talking about. That they have drugs that feminize men. So it still goes to the same point of which I'm on. What I'm talking about is that this is more than just a choice. This is more than just, hey, I'm going to choose a male or a female, because what a lot of people are saying today, is, man, I don't give a damn about your sexual orientation. If you gay, just be open about it. And I agree. If you gay, just be open about it. There's no need to really be in the closet. You know what I'm saying? The thing that really bothers me is these homo thugs. You know what I'm saying? These tough guys in public or whatever, and then behind closed doors, they all up in somebody's booty and messing with somebody's little child, some little boy or whatever. That's crazy. I even saw one earlier with R&B singer Bobby Valentino with the transvestites. Bro, you serious? Transvestites? Okay. Now, I will say that when I watched the video of the transvestite who video recorded him and put him out, or no, he didn't put him out, Bobby V ran out, not wanting to pay. You know, my first thought was, and Bobby V's defense was, he probably didn't know it was a transvestite, and once he found out, he fled the scene, and now this transvestite was trying to extort him. But it seems like Bobby V has a thing for these kind of he-she's, because even in his response, he claimed that this woman was trying to extort him for money or whatever the case is. He never came out and said, hey, yo, this dude tricked me. He never came out and said, yo, I didn't know this was, and in the video, he had Lil Scrappy with him. And Lil Scrappy like, yo, don't put me in that, man. But he in the video. It seems like Lil Scrappy got up. Because when you watch the video of the transgender, whatever, you know, this dude, and I'm not, because they keep saying she. It ain't a she, it's a dude. But this dude looked very feminine. Even in the video, was talking very feminine. So say you got tricked. See, and that's how these transvestites, you know, whatever, end up getting killed, because they tricking people up. But this don't seem to be the case with Bobby V. Bobby V seemed like, yeah, he didn't care whether it's a man or not. She looked good, or he looked good enough for him. He said, hey, what happened behind closed doors or whatever, and he got caught out there. So Bobby V, you not off the hook. You fall in line to those who are perpetrating the fraud. You know what I mean? You just gonna get it any way you can get it. Male, female, as long as it look good to you, you gonna hit it. You know what I mean? Nah, real dudes be like, yo, this dude tricked the hell out of me. Because if you saw a picture of this transvestite online and you never heard her speak, didn't see her move around, you would swear that this transvestite probably look better than a lot of females you probably know. You know what I'm saying? So let's just say you got tricked. You know what I mean? Men like women. Lil Scrappy's on it saying, yo, I love this, you know what I mean? Whatever. He was trying to make sure that she understood that he was a man, whatever. But, you know, we don't have the video on what happened with you, Lil Scrappy. We don't know if you got down with these chicks or whatever, or these dudes or whatever. So you got a little bit more leeway than a Bobby V. And this ain't the first time I heard something like this about Bobby V, tell you the truth, you know. But we're not gonna make this a celebrity bashing video. The whole thing is, if you get down like that, you know, just be real with people, man. You know what I'm saying? And I know everybody wants to keep their stuff private, but y'all be, especially celebrities, y'all be out there messing with like everybody. You know what I mean? Y'all come to town and they come to your concert and y'all running up on all these females and they swearing they, you know what I mean? Well, they taking a chance in the first place, but they not knowing you running up in little boys, you know what I mean? And they messing with men, and you know, look at Usher. I don't know, you know, they say he used to sleep in the bed with Diddy. And I don't know if that was innocent or not, but now he over here giving big girls, you know, all kind of diseases. But anyway, we get back on this with the homosexual thing is that, coming from a religious perspective, you can't justify it. So now, because you can't justify it, y'all come and make up a whole something else. Y'all got this whole, y'all got gay churches now, and you know, come on, that ain't getting it. You can't just make up your own thing, because you gotta face the fire, man. You know what I'm saying? None of us are perfect. You know, when it comes to religion, it's like I can sit here and talk about gays and how this is wrong and this and that, but on other level, we're all wrong on some level. You know, the thing about it is, if I'm a thief, I can't survive being a thief. You know what I'm saying? Other than, you know, I needed something, you But even then, when you get caught, you have to pay the price. You know what I'm saying? My children were hungry, so I stole. Okay, we understand. You might get a lesser sentence, but you still gonna pay a price. Or you still gonna be exposed. Stealing is stealing. It's wrong. Homosexuality is wrong. It's not, it's a whole bunch of us that are homosexuals, so we gonna make it right. See? Because a whole bunch of thieves can't make it right. They call you a band of thieves. They call you pirates or whatever they want to call you. They call you criminals, but it don't make it right. So what homosexuals have done in society is they've crept in. So obviously homosexuals ain't stupid. They found a way to creep in, and they've done a lot of damage through the industry. See, because as I said, this was not a black issue. This was a Caucasian thing. This is why Caucasians never really allowed black people into their social network, because they didn't want us to see how devilish they were, how nasty they were. So, they kept us away from their social equality or whatever, their social way of life, because then we would see the demons that they were. But how did they get us to accept it? Why are we wrapped in it now? What's going on? See, because we've been ruled by this devil, by these Caucasians who we want to be friends with, we want to be cool with, we want to be accepted by, we want to obtain their wealth, their fame, their fortune, their way of life. It became the practice that the few that were making it had to go through some of these homosexual things. You see the men wearing dresses, the black men wearing dresses on TV. But how many discussions has there been about, would you wear a dress? You know what I mean? When we go on social network and we go on Facebook or whatever, or Instagram or whatever you be on, and you hear people saying, would you do this for $1 million? Would you smack your mama for $1 million? Things of that nature. You should never want to smack your mama. You know what I mean? Now you get on there and people be like, hell yeah, I smack my mama for $1 million. Right? For $1 million, shit. That's how you think. But if you pulled up on me at my mama's house and offered me $1 million to smack my mama, I'd probably smack you. You know what I mean? Like, why would you, you know what I mean? Now, there's some things you could probably offer me $1 million to do, but you're not just going to have me do something completely wrong, which is really selling my soul for $1. So I'm going to smack my mama for whatever dollar amount you give me? No, bro. I smack you for free. But you got people who, they get to a certain position where they could be used and manipulated. If you, let's say, I'm not saying that these, see, Dennis Rodman's a whole different case, man. He was already in the NBA. I don't know how, maybe it was drugs that turned, I don't know what happened with Dennis Rodman. But let's say you are an actor. You got a role, you got a break somewhere. So now you're considered an actor. And now you trying to get another role, and it's a big role. But you got those who control giving you that role, who want to see you in a different light, paint you in a different light. You know what I mean? And they start making you do little ill stuff to get the role. You might get over one time, you know what I'm saying? Well, you ain't got to wear a dress yet, but you might have to take your shirt off, and you know what I mean? Or take a picture, you know what I mean? Just ill stuff that ends up adding up to the point where they actually got you by the balls. And let's say this. Oh, I wanted to say this from the beginning of this video. Who is it that benefits from all the stuff we see on TV and online and we hear on radio about gays being exposed? Who benefits? You know who benefits? The gay community benefits by this exposure. So, the term that all things in darkness will eventually come to light. When they get you in these positions where they can offer you money to do gay stuff or take pictures or just some download stuff. Let's say that you really not about that. Eventually it's going to come to light. So when these shocking and when these things come to light, there's so much talk about X, Y, and Z. R. Kelly get it in the butt and blah, blah, blah. But the new generation that's coming up is looking at it and saying, what wouldn't we do for R. Kelly money? You know what I'm saying? So exposing R. Kelly might diminish his fan base and, change his lifestyle to a degree. But for a newer generation, they're saying, you know what? I would do whatever R. Kelly's doing, but the way to improve on doing what R. Kelly's doing is I'm not going to hide it. We ain't going to be in the closet. It ain't going to be no part 1 through 20 something. We're not going to be in the closet. So you got Young Thug now who come out and be like, yeah, I did this and I wear dresses, and whoever his crew is, whatever they call, whatever, saying that they did homosexual activities with Baby or whatever. So now it's accepted. It's like, I don't care. I don't care because I'm going to do whatever, and I'm going to make sure that when I do whatever, it's out in public so that you can't harm me. But that's not really you. It's it's how the game has been evolved, and you got caught up in it. You caught up in the game trying to get a certain thing. You know what I mean? Now, I got so much on this subject, man. But I got my windows up so that y'all can hear me. And this AC is pumping and I'm freezing. So I'm trying to speed this up. There's also, if you study this or, you research this rather, you will find that if you go back to the earliest studies of homosexuality, you're not going to find this in a African, there's no history of no African, it's not African culture. This is more like Greek and Roman culture. If you see it, they'll probably try to switch it up and try to make it seem like we had something going on like that just to validate their gay stance. But we know, if you pay attention to all the things you watch and all the things you read that include homosexuality, you ain't been reading nothing about no gay African. Naked Africans with bones in their noses and swinging whatever. But you ain't reading about gay stuff. You see that clearly in the Greek and the Roman literature and the movies and things of that nature. This is the things that they openly practice among themselves. They only start hiding it when it came to us. Now, why do I mention that? I mention that to say that when you look at the Greeks and stuff and the Romans, when they were practicing among themselves, what I just said about Young Thug. See, the new generation is openly accepting it. What the Romans and the Greeks did to their young boys is they sodomized these young boys because the older men maintained power and control of these boys by sodomizing them. You taking power away. You taking their manhood away. So they become like your slaves, mentally and physically. So these boys that were being raped, they end up growing up still subservient and fearful, and also adapting to the homosexual lifestyle that you put on them that they probably wouldn't have had if you didn't take advantage of them as young boys. Alright? So now, because of the way that, government is, you can't openly, that stuff still goes on, but you can't openly just be snatching up little boys, or, they come home from school and you sodomize them and think that somewhere down the line you ain't going to pay a price because they're going to run their mouth and you're going to be exposed. So now it's like, well, how do we get these boys? Because I'm not talking about the Caucasian. I got to keep repeating that. They practice whatever they practice. They not only sleep with little boys, they sleep with their own little daughters. They just people. You know what I'm saying? And I'm not saying all practice this, because I'm sure I'm going to be attacked on all levels, you know, and I hope I get the chance to clarify what I mean. I'm just speaking quickly and in general right now, but these are things that Caucasian people practice. Now, can you say that black people have done it? Yeah, you can say black people have done it since we've been under them. Since we've been here in America and around the globe, where we've been adapting Caucasian practices. But this wasn't something, put like this, if this was going on in the tribes and the countries of Africa, there was sharp penalties for this kind of behavior, that it wouldn't be around. I know from coming up, you know, in the 80s in school, this gay stuff was not an open thing. See, these young boys don't know that. This gay stuff wasn't open. You know, if we thought if you even act like you was too soft, you know, too feminine, you get beat up just so they beat you up just to try to toughen you up. You know what I mean? You couldn't walk around talking like Mickey Mouse. You couldn't walk around trying to put on no wig and no dress. Man, you might get yourself killed. So that's where In the Closet came from. It's like that homosexual behavior and acting, it didn't ride. And now they call it gay bashing. So it's a crime if you react to homosexual in that, you know what I'm saying, that manner. But this stuff wasn't on the TVs. It wasn't, you know what I'm saying, open in the environment. This was some real down low stuff. This was really you being abused at home. This was really you know, your parents is on drugs and something went wrong with your hormones, and, you know, wow, this is who you are. So, you know, oh man, these young boys don't realize that this ain't what men do. You calling it gangster, you calling it just a way of life. This is new development. You know what I'm saying? This is new development. It's not an evolution. We've been tricked into accepting this. They got laws protecting it now. You're getting it all up on the TV shows. They got a gay character in almost every show. Just like black and white relations wasn't always on TV shows. So now, you know, you have also what you see on TV. You know, and I'm not trying to jump off the subject. But you ever notice that, 99.9% of the time when you see an interracial relationship on the TV, it's usually a white man with a black girl? See, everything is a power struggle. You got white men raping little boys for power. You got white people who are getting black people into the homosexual society just to say that they made it. See, that's the reason that's going out, to say that they made it. If there was a real option of a man being a man, you know, and being able to make the money that he can make, then, you know what I'm saying, and run his household the way he could be running his household, then it wouldn't go down. This wouldn't go down. People would not be out here trying to turn faggots. You know, a lot of times, even outside of social media and entertainment, in the real world, you know, strong black men are feared, and society wants to put us away or put us down. So when women see this with their sons, they pretty much feminize their own sons to be submissive in this world, that they feel that their son would be successful by being soft. Not saying that mothers are telling their sons to become faggots, but the way that you train your sons is really, you know, degrading what he could really be, a strong black man. So now all of a sudden when he's a faggot, it's like, oh, well, so what? That's my son, that's my baby, that's my boy, I love him, you know. And then we're kind of being forced to accept something that we shouldn't have to accept. And for all the haters, you know, I got to go back, because this will be one of my arguments, that you got to understand there was a time that, you know, and the only argument you'll ever have with me is evolution. and I'm gonna destroy that whole evolutionary BS. I'm gonna show you how evolution has really worked in the favor of those who have been aiming to destroy us. You know, to tribal times. You know, you watch the movies, you see like the Indians and stuff. A way of passage for the young boys to become men like their fathers was to hunt, or to be put them out in the jungle or the woods or whatever, and they have to survive, and they have to come back with like a lion's head, or you know what I mean, a tiger or something. You know, those were rites of passage, and some died. And if you died trying to be a man. There was no dishonor there. There were no boys sitting around knitting with the women in the villages. YouTube, yeah. As I was saying, you know, when boys, they earned the rite of passage by, you know, like by hunting and surviving in the wilderness and things of that nature. The boys didn't sit around with the mammies knitting and cooking and all that stuff. But when you think back to the biblical story of Jacob and Esau, remember, Esau was a hunter. You know what I mean? But what was the missions where Esau came back from hunting? He sold his birthright. So if you think of the story of Jacob and Esau sold his birthright for supposedly a pot of food or some food. So that means Jacob was there cooking, right? And when we tell the story of Jacob, you know what I'm saying? Like, when we tell the story of Jacob and Esau, I know that Hebrew Israelites ain't gonna like this. They always, they lean toward Jacob as being that dude. You know, these were brothers, and if you really break down the story, these were two brothers of two different natures. You know what I'm saying? This is if you break it down, Jacob and Esau is really the story of the black man and the white man. And they're saying, hey, this black man who was the first, right? He was the hunter. And they're saying Jacob was the second. He was the weaker one, the weaker gene. So this weaker one stayed home with mom and cooked. And then he tricked his brother for his birthright over some food. That's what Jacob did. That's what the white man do. That's what the faggots do. You gonna sit around and knit and cook and all this other stuff? No, man. And then there's laws against us saying words like faggot and homosexual. I remember back in the day when we call you a gay lord. Oh, he's a gay lord. And it was more of a joke because we really didn't know too many gay lords. It was just a demeaning word, you know, to say somebody else was soft. But there's some real gay lords out there. So, man, I got a million and one things to say on this subject, man. There's so many examples, so many people I could, you know, point a finger to. But this, you know, this is all. Oh, I didn't even touch on the white supremacy part. This has all been a tool by white supremacists who made themselves be gay to kind of, and here's a word for you, thwart, you know what I'm saying, or do away with, destroy, diminish the black movement, the uprise of black people. Because we got on Black Lives Matter, and now it's All Lives Matter, and then we find out that, oh, Black Lives Matter was started by some lesbian women. And now they're trying to, you know, combine Black Lives Matter with the LGBT, whatever, QR, whatever. They're trying to connect all of that as one movement, or like a brother and sister movement. And it's like, nah, you can't connect them. You can't connect them. You know what I'm saying? We're not fighting for no gay rights. Matter of fact, I don't even accept your pleas or whatever. I do believe all people have a right to live. You can live how you choose. At the end of the day, you'll be dealt with. It's not mine. It's not for me to deal with you, or for anybody else to really deal with you on how you want to live. But, you know, don't try and twist up what we know to be real. Don't try and twist up God's word. Don't try and twist up what manhood is or what it means to be black. You know what I'm saying? If somebody is abusing somebody because they are gay or lesbian, yeah, that's something that needs to be dealt with, you know. But don't push gay or lesbianism on people who have been against it, and y'all taking over everything. You know, it's pretty much gays and lesbians just running the world. You know what I mean? And y'all really doing the work of this white man, because he been gay, he been a lesbian. I mean, you know, she been a lesbian, whatever. So y'all doing his job and keeping us more suppressed in our plight and rise, you know, for peace, justice, and equality. You know what I mean? You can't get it. And now it's a gay issue. Y'all just destroying all morals before the righteous can actually rise up and how can I say, represent, you know what I mean? Represent to the world what life should be about. So now it's like I said, man, you can't justify pirates. You know what I mean? I know when we was young, we all wanted to be a pirate. Because you made it seem cool. You know what I mean? Sometimes we want to be the bad guy because you watch TV and they make the bad guy seem cool. You know, we all want to smoke cigarettes or weed or whatever because you see it and somebody made it seem cool. But at the end of the day, it ain't right. You know, smoking kills, weed kills brain cells, you know what I mean? Robbers hurt families, destroy all kind of stuff. Pirates, you know, killed and pillaged. Homosexual, you got the same kind of thing going on. There's something wrong with it, you know, and all I'm doing is speaking on it. I'm not trying to get anybody to attack no homosexual. You still have a right to live. Think about it. A criminal goes to jail, and other than, you know, really like murder, which might in some places call for the death penalty, the criminal still has a right to live. The criminal still has so-called human rights. Gays have rights. You know what I mean? They have human rights. But don't try to make laws to, well, they already done it. You know, but when you're making laws and ways to make this ill lifestyle acceptable, man, you're going to end up with an uprising from people who know that your whole system and whatever system accepts this and allows us to go down is just as corrupt as the homosexual, and we pinning all of that on your white supremacy. We're not gonna make this a black fight, you know, or a black problem. It ain't never been a black problem. It's been a Caucasian one. And slavery. You know, you see a lot of movies and documentaries talking about how the white man would take the black man's woman, you know, and daughters away from them and rape them and things of that nature. But there's not much been said about how this white man would also take black men and sodomize them, would rape the black men. You know what I mean? Bad black boys.